Deep breath. So my name is Heather, and I am the founder of Intuitive Mama, but I am not here to tell you my origin story. I am here to tell you one key fact about my upbringing, and it is that I was raised in a very religious household where being silent equaled safety. So we sat in church for 5 hours a week. We were taught to be still, not to ask too many questions. We were told to be a good girl or else. And I realized that this conditioning, this suppression of my voice, this blocking of my throat chakra, as I now know it to be, followed me my entire life. And I wasn't even consciously aware of it. But there are times when my intuition, my inner power, well, it always kept whispering, and sometimes it spoke so loud, it screamed. So let's take a walk down memory lane. So I am 16 years old, driving around in my new car with my BFFs, doing what teenage girls do, but probably shouldn't. We're looking for beer. And what do you do, right? So what do you do when you're 16, growing up in Omaha, Nebraska, and you want beer? You drive around to local gas stations and try to find those couple of guys that are old enough to buy beer, but not old enough that they're not cool anymore. So we found them, and they agreed. But instead of putting the beer in our trunk, they said, well, why doesn't your friend, we'll call her Sophie, get in the car with us? And this is when it happened, and my heart sank, and my hands were all clammy, and I was all shaky. And I said, absolutely not. And she looks at me and she goes, oh my God, Heather, you're so embarrassing. And this is what they teach us, right? Be cool, try to fit in. We actually change ourselves to be accepted by others. But I couldn't ignore what I felt. So I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling, had she gotten in the car with those guys, her life would have never looked the same. So fast forward 10 years later, and by now I'd been numbing very successfully with alcohol and weed, because this is what we do, right? We have all of these big emotions, and we don't know how to name them, and we don't know where to put them, so we numb. And I find myself blackout drunk in a casino in Vegas. Whew. And when I say blacked out, I mean there are hours that I don't remember. But I remember this moment. I remember opening this light oak laminate door with the silver lever handle. And I remember walking out of that bathroom stall, and this girl comes up to me and she strokes my hair and she says, oh my gosh, you are so pretty. Nice, right? Except for here it was, my insides were collapsing, my heart started beating. I literally came to in this moment, and I was like, thank you. And she kept giving me all these compliments and asking me all these questions. And I was like, what's going on here? Did this girl just steal my bag? And she's like, girl, I didn't steal your bag, but why don't you go to my phone? It's right outside with my friends, and we can call your phone. And I was like, why would I go to your phone when my friend's right over there? And we're talking, and we walk out of the bathroom, and I'm trying to piece this together, this mind-body disconnect in this really effed up state. And we get to a point, and we're about 100 feet from the open air casino doors, maybe from here to that pole. And this girl grabs my arm and starts pulling me. And so what do? I punch her in the face, and we find ourselves on a full-on brawl on the floor in a casino in Vegas. And this is what they tell you, right? Don't overreact, don't accuse people without proof. And I can't say for sure, but I have a feeling, had I crossed that threshold, my life would have never looked the same. So here comes the biggest moment of all. I'm 33, and I'm going in for a scheduled C-section for my second son. Because even after 4 days of unmedicated labor with my first, it ended in a C-section. So they said, just schedule this one. It'll be easier. The other way's too messy. Because that's what they do, right? They tell us how to have birth. Oh, that's a different story. So I give birth, and this pediatrician, like, something's not right with this woman. She's pushing procedures that I don't want, that don't make sense. She keeps trying to circumcise my son, which is already scheduled for a month from now. She keeps wanting me to give him donor milk, and I'm like, girl, I just stopped breastfeeding my other son a couple of months ago. Like, I know how to make milk. Complete disregard. So I tell the nurse, I'm just not really comfortable with this pediatrician. Can I request someone else? And she's like, oh, but she's so good. I'm like, okay. So the next nurse comes in, and I'm like, I want to request someone else. There's something not quite right. I'm not vibing with this woman. She's like, oh, but everyone loves her. I'm like, okay. Because this is what they tell us, right? Like, trust the professionals, don't question authority. I must have said this 7 or 8 times to different women. I will not work with this woman, until finally they discharged us just to get rid of me, even though my son had severe jaundice. So the next day, we went to our pediatrician, and he couldn't hold his vitals. So we rushed to a different hospital, one that I would argue is the best in the country. And shortly after we arrived and got admitted, he flatlined. And everyone on that floor, the best of the best, rushed to revive him. And I can't say for sure, but I have a feeling, had we been at that original hospital, he would not be alive today. And here's the thing. You don't need to save a life to relate to this, because I know you've said yes when you meant no. I know you've silenced your gut to keep other people happy. I know you've smiled to keep the peace. We all feel it. We're taught to override ourselves. We're taught to trust other people before we trust ourselves. We're taught to suppress emotions, to stay small, to play safe. But the moment you're willing to be too loud or too sensitive or too inconvenient is the moment you come back to yourself. And also, they tell us, stay humble. Don't make it about you. Don't be too proud. But I've made it my life's work with Intuitive Mama to help moms decondition themselves, to rewire their limiting beliefs, to heal their inner child, to own their shadow, to access divine wisdom, and to come back to that trust within themselves. And I'm really, really good at it. Shameless plug, but also sacred permission. Thank you.